Hello, hello, and welcome everyone. Welcome to our Temple of Love meeting. I believe this is our third meeting. This is a free gathering for the women that are part of our school of love, and part of our YouTube channel, which is quite an educational platform for many of you, learning about the art of enchantment, the wholeness, how to build relationships with women. And recently, a lot I have studied on healing the sacred wound inside of me, because when I've entered into a relationship, all the childhood traumas come up to surface. You know, like we want to be loved, we want to be appreciated, we want to be supported, we want to feel safe. But in relationship, it's a little bit different, because he's not my dad and not my mom. But fortunately or unfortunately, we do bring this dynamic in a relationship, just because everyone is so traumatized, both the men and the women. So we all are looking for mommy and daddy and best friends all in one person. And so the archetype of the best lover and a hero and a king and a god is somewhere out there back, at the background, but not at the front. Because until some traumas are healed, we can't truly show up and be visible in the world free. We're always looking for some approval, some appreciation. We're scared to be visible, to show up, and so forth. So today I had an amazing project. We have a girl in our school that went through wholeness retreat and then the Queen retreat, and she had a deep emotionally, and so she wrote this really emotional plea in our group, in our Telegram group. And the subject matter today that I want to focus on is jealousy between women, is inability to support each other. And we experience that with our mother, especially when we become teenagers, when we become sexually active. There is this competition between two females, an older and a younger one. And some of you may not have had that with your mom. I certainly had, because my mom was a really beautiful woman. And so especially with beautiful women, that competition comes down to your children. You know, it's to all the women, but especially to your children. So first I want to read her letter to set up the stage. Has anyone experienced a downfall after doing the wholeness retreat? Can anyone share any strategies to come back? I never thought I would go down. I felt down and hopeless after feeling great. I was not accepted into so this is a plea first. It's like a little child is asking, I am, like if you're in the water, I'm sinking. Can somebody take my hand, hold me, and pull me up? Okay. So now she's opened the door. She asked for a plea for help, and now she is sharing a truly deep trauma and an issue that has been with her for years. Okay. I was not accepted into a leadership program I applied for through my employer, which is in the school district. The rejection letter affected me, made me feel like a loser. So we looked in our previous videos that there are 5 major traumas that are triggering every single person. It's the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment, humiliation, and 2 more, betrayal, and there is more, injustice. Okay, so this is the 5 elements of a trauma that is at the heart core of every single person. So when we go through the wholeness retreat online, there are 10 sessions there that, like a flower, opens you up and brings you to see how your victim archetype, that is rejected, humiliated, betrayed, scared by your parents to begin with, even sometimes when you were born in the womb, like, I shared that story. When I was in the womb of the mother, my father put his foot on her belly, and when I was 5 months old, and said, I don't want this child, I want it out. And so when I was looking back, when I was healing my womb, I could see that there was like this little black, the fetus was this little black baby, and the fear ridden every cell of the body. So for me to heal that trauma of rejection, it wasn't the one time. That couldn't be healed because I went through any program, any retreat. This is such a deep conscious work that needs to go deep, 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 deep layer to deep self-love. Way beyond the mom loves and dad's love. It's coming back to that divine love, coming back to my soul's purpose and mission. Why did I come into this world? And I didn't come to please my mommy and my daddy, although that's also part of the program, but I have come here for a different mission, for the evolution of my soul, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I want to go through this letter because I promised to her that I will address the issues in this, because I believe every woman has this story, different scenario. But I'm sure every single one of you have felt rejected, right? At work, at home, by your boyfriends, by society, by the pretty girls, by your teachers, somehow, somewhere. So that trauma can be triggered and activated by an external event, but that has nothing to do with the event itself. Okay, let's get back. Is this interesting? Do you want me to go through this? Okay. Because if you have your own specific question, trauma, and situation that you can explain super fast, I can guide you through and help you heal through that issue for the benefit of all. And this lady was going to come and participate and let me heal her and take her through these layers, to that space and help her heal it in a group format. And also she's doing a private session. So because I shared with her, it's like at least 3 sessions. We can't even one time get that deep and go. Only Farwa can do it. Farwa can do it in 1 session. This girl is so amazing. She's so vulnerable she's so powerful in her vulnerability. Her feminine essence is so strong. She trusts me a lot. There's a strong field that builds in during the session. So I push her deep, 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 and she opens up. She doesn't resist me, and then boom, she explodes. Is it okay that I'm sharing? Do you want me to cut it out? You're fine to share this with the world, Farwa? Because this is, finally, I want to create a temple of love for women and a Queen's Club, a space that is safe to be visible. And yes, Farwa, you want to say yes?
Yeah, I unmute myself. Share anything you want. I'm completely okay. Because I want this for the healing for everybody.
Yeah. Because right now,
we need it.
Yeah, the world we live right now, they're scaring us with the nuclear war almost every day. I don't know if you're watching the Russian news. I'm watching, and it's like scary. Farwa, can you put yourself on mute, please? And so we don't know how long we're going to live. So I feel that if we're not able to create a feminine community where it is safe to be, like, it's one of my missions right now. This is what I want. I want a sisterhood circle where it is safe to be visible, because I am able to be not jealous, and I'm not scared, and I can handle any woman, any age, any issue. Because now I'm 57 and I have done so much healing work on myself that I actually feel that I can handle it in a group format. Before, I could only do it one-on-one. And it's not that I was afraid to be visible. in a group format, but every time I led a group retreat, I felt overwhelmed because I could feel so much energy is coming at me. So much pain, so much hidden aggression, so much fear, so much insecurity, so much lying and pretending and masks and posing, and like I could feel so much energy that was not a pure transmission of just being, allowing yourself to just vulnerably be present. Because the yin and yang in a woman, modern woman, has been ruined. Like it's not been developed properly. We don't have that core, that masculine core that keeps us confident and stable. Not proud and lying and pretending a legend how perfect I am or how what a good girl I am, but like, I'm real. And we live in a world of duality where the light only shines in the darkness. So unless there is an external enemy pressing you, how are you going to make your choice to be light? But we all want just an easy life. But how are you going to be tested? So it's not about having an easy life. It's about developing that strong inner man that creates that foundation for you, that you can lean on your courage, on your young energy, that keeps you safe. And that is connected to your higher self. If you're not connected to your higher self, who are you connected to? You're plugged into the matrix. And the matrix is constantly telling you through mass media, you're not good enough, you're not young enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, you're too old, you're too weak, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too this, you're not enough, come, bye, do this, do that, right? You're constantly bombarded with this pressing you into the victim of you're not good enough, so that it keeps activated and burning that wound of rejection, abandonment, betrayal, and injustice. And so in the matrix, do you know what I mean by the matrix, right? The social world. In Instagram, for example, or Facebook, everybody wants to show how pretty they are, what a great life they live. One of my students sent me the videos of this feminine coach. And one look at her, and no judgment, I can just see she's a poor girl without any high education, and no judgment, but she's not coming from wealth, she doesn't have it. But anyone with camera and charisma can now create a legend. So she goes to some pretty homes and she pretends, she does this with the phone. So it's just like, you see her and a little bit behind her something, she's like, oh, this is a multi-million-dollar home that my husband bought for me. Or on the street next to some car, you cannot even see the car, maybe a Toyota. And she goes, and this Porsche yesterday, my husband gifted it to me. Do you want to know how to be the woman who will be gifted this and this and that? And the poor girls are sitting there like, yeah, can somebody gift me this and that? Like, I can see you're not that perfect, maybe I can deserve it too. Is this possible? They're lying. In Russia, the influencers, there have been an investigation that, they would take pictures of a jet, a private jet, put their pictures on that. Like they do some kind of magic Photoshop shop with that. So it looks like as if she is flying a private jet. And they would, make women believe that, look, I came from a village and I was also like a poor girl like you. But now look, I have men that are, buying me these big flower bouquets. And it's all a lie. Because let me tell you something, I was a wife of a multimillionaire. I never ever wanted to share it with the world. Why? Because it's natural. Number one. And number two, women will be jealous And I faced a lot of jealousy when I was growing up, and I'm scared. I was, maybe still I am, and this is something I want to work through with you guys today. I was super scared of raising jealousy in women. But also, because you have it, you don't have to flaunt it. Because it's natural to you. It's easy. I don't know, maybe I'm just built that way. But there's some things I want you to start thinking about and maybe writing something so we can, open this conversation in a feminine field. So anyhow, let me continue with her letter. I cannot be an assistant principal if I don't complete this program. I have been feeling down and abandonment type of feeling in my soul. At work, the school gossiper is plotting against me and slandering my reputation. I have to deal with people not liking me and the boss united with her. People are on her side, all because when work policy is broken against me, I don't allow anyone to cheat the students or disrespect me. I call them upon it and right away we'll send an email. People who are not doing their job get offended that now they have to do their work because I throw them under the bus. I don't do this on purpose. I do this because I am not doing anyone's job nor allowing to disrespect myself. To change the job is going through, though, is chaotic and triggering those who do not want to change, etc. I have to deal with chaos and people rave that me work simply for doing my job and demanding policies, blah, blah, blah. I feel hopeless today and just surrender. Life isn't all high vibes at times, not when we get rejected or people start hating any tips anyone. So first of all, I would recommend that when you feel like that, I also like to write emotionally. So first thing I do is I type up, even if it's messages for my friends, first I type up my emotions. But then please take a time, reread it, make corrections, separations, and like make it a readable material for another person. I have some clients and my girlfriend, like she will just send whatever, and there's so many typos and mistakes. When I send, I always reread it, and when I catch my typos and mistakes, I click edit and try to fix it. Yes, it takes extra time, but it's a respect for another person's time, not to guess what are you trying to say, but to understand. So anyhow, so this was a lot of issues stuck in one bowl, thrown into the group, and asking for help. So if you're not a professional psychologist, how can you help? What can you recommend? Can you handle with that? Anyone? Yes, no? You can just... Yeah, it's crazy, right? But the issues that I saw in there is leadership, desire to shine, desire to be supported, loved, adored, and just allowed to be who she is. Isn't it a natural desire for all of us? And don't you all wish that it was like that? Have you experienced the world like that? I haven't. Everywhere I went when I was growing up as a beautiful young woman, I went through one college, through one university, to another, or at work. Everywhere I went, I hit an incredible amount of jealousy and pressure and unsupport. Yes, occasionally there was some kindness from women and support, but really, compared to the amount of walls I had to break through, that the goodness was that much. Maybe I didn't deserve it. I don't know. I really feel that every woman goes through that. So it's a problem. It's an issue. And I wanted to really bring it up for us, what needs to be changed so that we are, as women, supportive of each other and kinder to each other. So I wanted to share with you, why is this happening? According to some of my deep studies and work that I have done, looking into why is the world fair or unfair? Is it just or not just? And what's really going on? But first I wanted to tell you that you haven't seen me for a while, and we just moved to another country, like maybe 10 days ago. And it was, there's a tsunami in Asia that has been going through, a typhoon that was moving through Philippines, Thailand, Asia. So it was like raining nonstop. And so we flew from Thailand, and the next day the street with our hotel where we lived was flooded up to your knees. So I was like, wow, we just escaped that. We came to Da Nang, Vietnam, and it's just such a beautiful place, and it has been raining nonstop. So our bodies have been readjusting to all these changes and so forth. So a few days later, I got sick, started going through like serious detox. So my voice hasn't fully recovered yet, but I didn't want to postpone this meeting. I truly felt like we need to meet in our temple, because in September there was this huge dark corridor based on 2 lunar eclipses. So September 7th, and this all makes sense, like her letter will all make sense in this construct. So before the September 7th was really turbulent, about a week for people, because everything about karmic connections and old stuff that hasn't been resolved, everything that you needed to let go, surrender, and release was coming up for that particular eclipse. And that's about that time she was writing, around either right before or right during this period of time. And for me also, everything came up that was unresolved and undone. And so I literally felt that people were falling apart. Some people were, during the sessions, sharing like this plea of this beautiful girl this is her twist, her scenario. But every single one of you, I am sure, had stuff come up that where you were unsafe in this unjust, unstable world, right? Many of you have been crying nonstop, I know, during that time. And I had to. So then on the September, like once I've healed so in that condition, I didn't want to come and lead anyone, because I didn't have the strength to give and to support. Because when things happen, when I'm working on myself, I allow myself to be completely vulnerable and fall apart. Because that's the only way to release everything and regroup myself and bring myself a step higher. Like if I stay at the same level and hold myself and just work with other people and jump on saving her, then I can never literally feel what is coming up for me. And I had to let go some of my clients. I had to let go some of the old friends and attachments, because I got to see that everything that came from my past, the victim that I was before, that algorithm of victimhood that I held before, attracted a certain type of behavior and a certain level of people and positions. And so I worked on myself and healed myself, and I reached a new level of awareness and a new level of beingness. And so the old is not serving me anymore. And it's really difficult to let it go, because I face the fear of to be alone or not having enough the other people. There's always something not enough for us. We're really greedy and scared little beings. So, on one hand, and super powerful and incredible and generous on the other hand. I just want to keep this balance. And I want people buy into this lie on Instagram or in social media or on YouTube or in movies that life is easy and it's a fairy tale. It's a constant dance of light and dark, of truth and lies, that most people are incapable to handle the truth. And I will get to it why. I had to discover. That was my thing. I was like, but why? But why? Because, I'm a lawyer by education and a teacher by another. I have 2 master's degree and a law degree. And when I was in law school, every day we had to read at least 50 to 100 pages of cases. And I recently was thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, for 3 years, every day, I had to sit on my butt and read 50 to 100, these big books of these cases, where to be a lawyer or think like a lawyer, it's constantly, everybody is complaining, there's a problem, somebody was unjustly hurt. Then you had to figure out what is the rule of law is. And then was there a precedent? How was this resolved by judges before? Like, what is justice? In America, for example, right? Because in every country it's a different case study. And then at the end you had to prove, like take a point and prove that this is the right way to do. And so I have this already built-in skill in me. And I realized it's like lawyers are psychologists. So when I work with clients, like the first thing when they're telling their story, I'm looking into what's the issue. What's the scenario? What's behind it? What's the divine law behind it? Like, what's the divine justice? What is really going on? And then I'm thinking, how can I help to bring more balance, more harmony, more ease, more peace into this situation? So I was just recently thinking, like, oh my God, I wasted 3 years of my life and $100,000 in payments for the law school. And I never became a lawyer. And I was like, hey, I became a psychologist. So the last 7 years, when I got married, I started studying psychology, because in relationships, you cannot keep this balance with you being traumatized little girl and he being traumatized little boy. It's always the traumas are going to come up in this safe and loving environment. And so just you think, oh, we got married, we're so lucky, everything is going to be so wonderful. And I'm like, the shit hits the fan, one problem at a time, right? So, September 21st was another eclipse, and that was dealt with relationships. So I saw Nicole Kidman getting divorced, and all of my clients were going through turbulent type in relationships. And I was so safe and secure about my relationship with Bulat, because it's just solid. It's just based on such solid love and tested through so many things. Like, I have no reason to doubt in the love, and it's great. All of a sudden, this week of September 21st, when this thing comes up, I am crying like baby. He was later telling me, like, I was afraid to talk to you, because anything I would say, you would either flare up or you would cry. I was falling apart. And I sat there because this old stuff was coming. And we sat there and I said, we need to talk. And I said, listen, when we met 7 years ago, I was a victim, you were a victim. And then we were healing each other and supporting each other. But now, 7 years later, a cycle is completed. Every 7 years, there's a new cycle for us. I'm like, maybe we should step back and reevaluate and see, do we again want to start a new cycle together? Or this is the time to shift the relationship from the lovers, the legendary love affair that lasts forever, because that was my goal and dream when I was getting married. I wanted a legendary love that lasts forever. I wanted only romance, and I only wanted enchantment, and I only wanted good stuff. And in reality, everything comes up. It's because we have those wounds and he has those wounds. So we're going to touch each other with those wounds and no escape. So this girl is single. So of course she's going to get these issues in the external world, in the social world, the principal, the girls, the others. Everybody's going to create this pressure on every one of you. Because we came here to change. So I'll get to the theory. I really want to share something powerful with you. But first I want to take you through my vulnerability to make her feel safe and disillusioned that there is a fairy tale in this world. We live in a real world. Yes, we're constantly watching social media and television that tells us how the world should be. But it's not reality. The world is the way each of us is experiencing it. We all live in our own reality, and the reality, as I said, it's a duality. So you can never experience kindness inside of you if someone else is not in trouble. If somebody doesn't come and burdens you with their problem. That's how you can experience kindness inside of you. So there'll always be problems. And I want to share this before I became a psychologist and learned everything about the feminine arts and so forth. Like, because everything I studied was, and I became knowledgeable, it was at 45. Before that, I was like every single person normally, just knew some things, you know. Whenever I got hurt, like in this type of situation, like what I could recommend to her, right? It's because she's not here. It's a 5 a.m. in San Diego right now, unfortunately. It's 8 p.m. in Asia. So right now Vietnam and Thailand are in the same time zone, but in America it's an early morning, unfortunately. And for Europeans that's a good time. It's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whatever. So for Europeans it's a good time, but unfortunately for Americans I cannot, start at 9 p.m. because I do need my sleep time and so forth. So I do hope that you wake up early for these meetings. You can come, sleepy and all that with a cup of tea. But please join us because there's something special, right? When we're doing life, there's this magical life connection that happens, and this freedom that you can always ask a question, like, and feel it and reflect it and contribute to it. So, but there is something beautiful to watch it on YouTube where everything is polished and perfectly created as well. So it's a balance. But I am hoping that more and more of you will be joining us in Temple of Love so that we can raise these issues in a really honest and powerful way, and that you could experience each other's reactions, truth, and support. I want you to feel safe, like I was feeling safe with my husband, to just fall apart. And I was like, I'm aware this is coming from this, I'm aware from this, I don't need any help. But it was catching up. So all of us were going through this time in September where we were catching up with the issues that we haven't healed before, we haven't figured out, we haven't forgiven, and so forth. So in the past, how I handled it, if I was wronged, like this girl is being wronged, somebody gossiped, or I was unjustly hurt some way or somehow by someone, I would ask myself, what would Jesus do for me? Because this is what I believe. If you are Muslim, you can say, what would Allah do? But for me, if you are in India, maybe you can ask what would Lakshmi do, or Shiva do, or Kali do. But that was the only way to help me not to drop into that little scared animal program called survival that is built in every one of us. So when I started studying and understanding, these programs that run humanity, that run me, the psychology of the subconscious mind and the programs, that was so interesting, so exciting for me to learn. So there are 4 levels of evolutionary programs that our souls came into this world to accomplish. And the first 2 levels is what the matrix is made of. So I'm going to share something with you that I know will resonate with you. And so on the level 1 and 2, it's also called an infantile program because that is the childhood traumas haven't been healed. So it's still an inner child living in us in an older body. Trying to ask for love and attention in an outside world, looking for mom and dad's approval in the social world. That's why everybody wants these likes and this and that and the other thing. We want approval that we didn't get enough when we were, little. So on the first level of evolutionary development, the human being hasn't separated the inner world, hasn't built that inner masculine, that inner young contact with himself, with herself, because every woman has an inner man and inner woman. Every man has an inner woman, inner man. That's one of the challenges in the relationships when you come together. There is 4 of you in the room, not 2 of you in the room. So because we don't have this стержень in Russian, in English, it's like this deep, we call it core in English, but it looks like a pole inside of you, and the feminine energy circles around it. In India, in the Vedic movies about Shiva and so forth, they show it. It's like a golden, fiery, straight, like a penis. And then the feminine energy is the cows running around it. So inside every person, it's like that. I have an inner man that if it's not developed, I don't have the strength and confidence to be me, to defend myself. I need a daddy to make me safe and to approve of me. The feminine energy it's chaotic. We're scared, we're unstable, we're unsafe, we're like earth and water. We're like all over the place. There's no structure to the feminine energy, but it's a life force. It's a really powerful force of nature that life is born in it. In water we have the fish, and on the earth we have all the animals and everything. So the feminine energy gives life. But for some reason we constantly are looking for safety. Outside, in an outside world. And we can never find it. So the first level of evolutionary development is the person has no recognition, hasn't built that internal authority of who I am. And why am I here? And what is my soul's purpose and mission? Why did I come into this world? And the Matrix tells you to be beautiful, to be rich, to be famous, to have kids, leave a lot of things for your kids and die. That's the only scenario they have built. But it's not why your soul comes here. It's coming to learn how to love like Jesus would. It's coming here to learn how to be merciful, how to be kind, how to give. Because only what you're sharing and what you're giving you can actually enjoy. They tell you can find happiness outside of you. Like if you buy this expensive brand, if you buy this crystal, if you buy some jewelry, if you say a mantra 50,000 times, if you do yoga, if your body is perfect, if you make a ton of money on Bitcoin and you have millions under your butt in a bank, all kind of stories they tell us. But when you die, you take nothing with you. Nothing. You come naked, you leave naked. So why is your soul coming into this world? To prove to others that you're good enough? How is that possible? You already are a shining light of God that have come here to experience life. Right? Like, is this starting to soften you down a little bit? And so on the first level, the person doesn't have this inner authority, and they live in an external world becomes their authority. That's why we're still looking for approval and likes and running away from our pain. Instead of deeply healing the pain, we want to pretend how great we are, how everything is good, how are you great? Let me go teach other women how to be great. But that's not why we come here. We come here to love, to share, to support, to cry together, to celebrate together, celebrate each other, see each other through the eyes of love. But because each of us is looking for that approval, we want to be the best. We want to get the highest grade. We want to get the diploma. We want to get the paper, the golden medal. Like when I look at the athletes, they cry if they don't get the first place. Like, what the fuck? All of you already are a first place for most of us. Idiots sitting on our couches reading books and watching television. You guys already are gods on earth. You've accomplished so much. You're incredible. Celebrate yourselves. It's a game. It's play. Okay, so one of you ran 3 seconds faster today than you because had better sleep, maybe fell in love, has more energy, and so forth. And you came 3 seconds later. It doesn't make you a loser. But no, it's going to be drama if you're not number one. Isn't this true? Why? Have you ever thought about it? It's why? Why do in the games, the football season begins, whatever, why does somebody has to win and somebody has to lose and make a big deal out of that? I mean, why? It's just a game. Why they make a big money on this? So the Matrix wants to keep you constantly externally dependent, so that you all the time and always be in situations where you are rejected, abandoned, unjustly hurt, and not good enough, and betrayed. It's set up. Hello, everyone. The Wholeness Retreat will help you to become soft and vulnerable inside, to figure out how your inner man and inner woman are playing a scenario of victimhood in your particular case. That's what it was for me when I was leading it, and that's what it was for me when I took it 7 times in 2 years. It's every time a new layer of victimhood was coming up, because if you think the enemy is outside, you are the victim. As soon as there is an enemy, then you're at war. If you're at war, you will always lose, because this is not what Jesus would do. And he taught it in the Bible. If somebody hurts you, turn another cheek. It's not about being abused. But this is about expanding yourself to the knowledge that nobody can hurt you. And when no one can hurt you, you cannot be a victim. But to reach that level is you have to get to at least level 3 of evolutionary development. But so anyhow, on the first 2 levels, on the first level, the person really has no contact with internal authority. There is no the queen archetype inside. There is, when we show up in love or in money, we show up as beggars. We're begging for love. We're begging for money. We want to manifest money. We want to attract money. We do all these things on YouTube and everywhere. It's like, money, give me money. Why? Money is there. It comes exactly enough for what you need, for what you are giving out into the world. Whatever value I am holding, that's the value I'm receiving. Not more and not less. And yes, I know people that became millionaires in Bitcoin and then they dropped everything, was taken away from them. Right now in Russia, there are some famous influencers that these girls have, 21 has 25 million subscribers, another one has 22, and the third one has 17. I was just watching it today. So they got hacked and their accounts were taken away from them. And this is their business, they make money on it. And they cannot take it back, and now there are bad things publishing on them. So they're going through such trauma. It's crazy. And so I'm trying to share this to this girl that wrote to me, is that you're not living in a la-la world where everyone is going to love and support you, worship and adore you. Because we didn't come to get it from the world. We got tricked that we can get something from an outside. So that we constantly stay the victim of our desires that are never going to be fulfilled. Like today I manifest this and tomorrow I don't manifest that. And today I feel high and tomorrow I feel down. That's how it's set up, duality. Until you pop through, you rise above the matrix. And for that, you have to learn, you have to study, you have to heal yourself. You have to meet this trauma inside of you, admit it, you are a victim. People are so afraid of that. I think that's one of the most brilliant pieces of the Wholeness Retreat, is that the first 4 sessions, I was shocking people. Everybody came in their armor of good girl, expecting Yana to just amuse and entertain them and make their life perfect. And I came honest, raw, without a makeup, because I was so safe and secure in my relationship. It was the 3rd year of my sacred union with my husband, and I felt so loved. I felt so safe that I could allow myself to take this armor down and look inside of, why am I feeling jealous to other women? Why and when do I get insecure? When do I get triggered? When do I get angry? Like, what triggers me? And started honestly looking into my darker side. And on the 4th session in the Wholeness Retreat, women caught up. All of a sudden, they started, like, first very carefully taking those masks off and connecting to their true heart, to their womb, like to their true trauma, to their true, because only in vulnerability you connect to that inner chaos that makes you a woman. The feminine energy is chaotic, it's unsafe, it's not secure, it's life-giving. It's a force that can kill you or give you life. That's what makes a woman so exciting. Once in a while, when I was like super at the beginning of our relationship, I would have these waves of insecurity that would come over me. And I would be, Bulat, why do you love me? Like, why don't you go get a younger girl? I'm older woman now. Like, we have 10 years of difference, but he does look way younger than me. And so I was like, why? He goes, because you're real. Because I'm so excited to live with you. Because I would be so bored with a girl who doesn't know who she is. Yeah, it would get exciting at the beginning, you know. A young body is always beautiful and exciting. He goes, but then what do I do with her? She doesn't know who she is. She's not safe. She's not secure. She's afraid to be herself. And we had a really powerful session with one of the girls here on in our club right now, in our temple. And she's in her 20s. And when we had this session, the amount of questions that she had, together with another girl that is here as well, that we talked about the relationships, it's like they've heard through YouTube and through Instagram what a woman should be like or should do. And it's a list of things. A man is a hunter, a woman has to be soft, a woman has to be this, she cannot be the first one, you cannot have sex on the first date, you have to do this. It's like every single person who has access to camera, some charisma, and courage to lie to people, because if their life is good and they figured it out, they would never make statements like that. Because nothing is ever true 100% all the time. Everything is changing and it depends. The world is complex. And this is one of the greatest things I learned from geishas about the 4 elements. I even created a program called 4 Elements and shared, how to raise these energies based on the elementals, the water, the fire, the earth, the air. And I practiced that to understand, because I was fascinated by the concept is that the geisha develops all the 4 elements in her. The water, the earth, which is feminine, yin energy in her. The fire, the air, which is yang energies in her. And so when she meets a man, she can adjust to him because it's the opposites that attract. So if a man is coming all on fire and he's all confident and this and that, you gotta turn water, because otherwise he's gonna burn you up or fight with you. If I turn fire and my husband turn fire, our inner men's meet, we're gonna fight. We're gonna compete, because it's always about whose will is going to win. There's another girl here, we were traveling in Thailand to a spa, and we had made an agreement where to go. So our inner mens were in alignment. There's a structure. We're going over there. But a woman is a chaotic being. She can change her mind. I totally know this. I totally believe in that. So at a certain point, like, we got lucky. There was an opportunity to go to another spa, and there was some free stuff offered. And she's like, I'm staying here. She didn't ask me nicely, like, this is what I would like. Would it be okay if we change our plan and do that? No, she wasn't soft. She turned her inner man on, and she's like, this is what I want. This is where I'm staying. This is how it's going to be. And this is how she is with her man. And of course, it's okay that I share a little bit, that I hit on your thing for the benefit of you and all. And so they were fighting with her man, and relationship was not really working out because he was telling her everything has to be your way only, all the time. And so she's now running these patterns through me. But I am a geisha. I'm not a woman who believes that it has to be this way or that way. I have practiced and learned and developed in me all the skills so that I can handle life. I can be flexible with life. When I need, I turn on the fire. When I need, I turn on the water. When I need, I can be the air. When I need, I can be the earth. It's about the alchemy of being whole and complete. It's about healing these wounds of rejection, this and that, so I can be free to be me. So yes, I can be super sweet and super nice and super soft and very feminine. And I can say, fuck you. And not to be afraid that you will judge me. Yana, you're a feminine coach. You should be refined and wonderful and not use this bad word. Fuck you. How do you like that? You know, I want the freedom. You know, until I was 28 and entered law school, never once in my entire life I ever used a curse word. And I was raised in a quite sophisticated environment where no one ever around me, no men, no women, ever cursed. I don't know how it was magic. And whenever environment, whatever I was, people would not smoke. They would not, the smokers and the drinkers. In my space, it held such light, such purity, that men would stop drinking, smoking, and nobody would use a harsh word. I just had it naturally, this beautiful, pure, feminine energy that men would sense it and they would become softer, not to hurt this innocence. I wasn't even aware because it was normal for me. I didn't study about feminine and masculine. It was just part of my formula. And so then I entered law school. And everybody, every 5 minutes in the library, everywhere, they're like, fuck this, fuck that, oh fuck, oh fuck. And I was like, at first I was horrified. I was like, why are they constantly talking about sex? We're in law school. It's not appropriate for this profession. And then after a while, when every single day you have to sit and read 50 pages to 100 pages, and every single day you feel like you're stupid and you're not enough and you can never catch up and you can never pass these fucking exams. Because after the first semester, you figure out the system is designed to test you for strength. If you're not mentally, psychologically, have a winner attitude and strong enough and believe in yourself, 60% in law school first semester are out. And they tell it to you the first day. They're like, you're going to be graded like this. The 40% pass, the 60 go down. So you have to compete, not with knowledge, but with your peers. So I was perceived as a weak European girl who speaks bad English. So everybody thought I'm stupid and vulnerable. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have documents and so forth. The troubles I had to go through. This is the story for Esmeralda. The unfairness, the trouble that I had to go through, the jealousy that I had to go through my peers. They did everything to kick the weakest people out. So I'm not right now even going to tell the stories, but that's horrifying. Actually, no, I will tell one of the stories. The next day is the exam. The night, and I was working in the computer library to make money. So from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. I had to work. And in the morning at 8 a.m. we have the exam, our first semester, first exam. And so at 11, I'm finally coming home with a roommate. I don't have the time to sleep. I'm like, now I'm going to review and prepare myself for it. And she stole my wallet while I was in the library. She came like as if she was taking the key, and she stole the whole wallet with the keys and money and everything. And so I knock at the door, and she used to be a policewoman and a gay woman, an African-American woman. So she was big and built and strong. And here I am, this skinny little white girl, super scared. I've never experienced this power of Mama Africa, coming at me. And she's a policewoman and a man. She's a gay woman, so a lesbian or whatever, how you call it, I don't remember. No judgment, it's just reality. And so she's like, fuck you, I'm not gonna let you home. I want you to fail. But you think you pretty young white girl can come here and be successful? She's like, fuck you. So I'm standing there crying. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I was working 6 days a week in law school to make money for food and pay these pennies for this little cheap place where we were living. Because I didn't have a lover daddy, like I didn't want, to go in that direction. I wanted to go through my, I always felt I'm super smart. And so I went through so much injustice. So I ended up crying and begging and pleading to her. I was like, any humanity? Like, I'm not your enemy. She's like, no, the strongest survive. It's a game of life. And right now I'm stronger than you, so fuck you. And so you know what I did? What do you think I did? Do you think I fell apart? I stopped crying. I turned on my inner man and I said, oh, you want to fuck me? No, let me fuck you. How about that? I said, listen, I have nothing to lose. You pushed me to the wall. So I'm going to go right now, buy some bag because I didn't even have the money. And like, I'm going to get some matches or a lighter. And you see this beautiful car of yours? It's going to be on fire. And this dam that you're living in, I'm going to burn it up, baby. So that tomorrow they put me to prison. And then I have a place to live and food to eat because you left me on the street. I have no green card. I don't have any rights. I'm on a student visa. So you think you're going to fuck me? No, let me fuck you. How do you like that, baby? So if I didn't have this really powerful inner man, I would never have survived in this world. Never. If I didn't have this strong inner man in me, I would never have studied like crazy and succeeded in foreign countries. Everywhere I went to the top. And I would make more money than lawyers and teachers and engineers would make. I lived in Poland, I made more money than my professors and everyone. Then I came to America and I was making more money than most people I know. Because I have this victory-based, strong inner archetype that came to America and learned, fuck you. So I never myself went and did anything wrong to anyone. But if anyone wanted to offend my inner woman, I would stand up for myself. So of course she got scared and gave me my stuff. And I took everything and I put it in the car. And now I had to sleep in the car. And it's now 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. in the morning. I haven't slept yet. And I come to class in the morning. My eyes are swollen like that. I haven't eaten. I haven't slept. I had no water. I was freezing in my car, very uncomfortable. And you know what? I win. I come and I pass the exam better than the Americans that sleep in their homes, that come from an environment where their mom and dad were lawyers 7 generations and blah, 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 blah. And this sweet, stupid little white girl gets an A in torts. It's called that first subject that we went, so I remember it. So the teacher and everyone, they came to me with eyes like that, like, how is this possible that Yana gets an A, the only A in class? Because I'm smart. I'm smart and I'm fearless and I believe in God. And so I have this really strong inner core of who I am and what I want. And then I ask myself, what would Jesus do? So this is when I was young and a victim of the social world. Now, of course, I've studied a lot and now I can handle things differently. So I don't need it. But I feel that I don't want women that work with me to fall in love with this illusion that a woman always has to be soft and subservient. No, I'm a queen. I can be everything. As long as what I do expands my man, inspires him, and makes him better next to me. And with my clients, maybe you don't like me, maybe you get disappointed, maybe you get upset. But if you work with me, you're going to change. You're going to grow. You're going to transform. You're going to develop a deep core, a sense of who you are. I don't want you to be like Yana. I want you to be you. Discover your truth and your power. And for that, you need to heal your wounds of rejection. And you need to learn how to fill yourself up with so much energy that you don't have to compete with others and compare yourself. But be enough. Be enough. And then you will be super happy in a relationship. Because when you're enough, you can be loved. If you're not enough, you can never be loved. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not enough for yourself, you can never be enough for somebody. Nobody can love you enough. It's an internal thing. So let me get back to this evolutionary line. So the level 1 men and women, they don't have the inner world developed, so they're completely influenced by the external world. So the external world, as I said, is always going to play with you, and it's always going to be unsafe and insecure. So sorry to break the fairy tale story, but this is the truth. Look at Donald Trump. Do you think it's safe and stable for him, or safe? He has been shot. He's constantly being shaken. He has to experience a ton of hate, a ton of judgment. So when he was, I don't remember how old, but he was minus 9 billion or 90 million or some huge amount. I don't remember now. The story was a long time ago. He was in the minus in debt. And that story shook me so much that he said it was late at night, 3 a.m. in the morning. He was walking in Chicago because he didn't have money for a taxi. And he went to make a phone call to Japanese business contractors and so forth. And they said, why should we choose you? You're a loser. You're like minus like 9 billion or whatever, you are in minus. He said, because I took a risk, I figured this out. Yes, I got screwed. I made some mistakes. I'm down. But I know how to get to the top. And he presented to them like what he's going to do. And his confidence, his trust in himself, helped him. And they looked, they heard, and they said, okay, we'll take a risk on you. And then he went up and out. So I want to tell you, it's like hard times are always going to hit us. And we need to take a look. Is this the time to let go of this environment because it doesn't serve us anymore? Or is it time to change our own perspective and to shift how we show up in this world? Like with that girl that screwed me up in law school, what do you think I felt towards her? Nothing but love. As soon as I got my stuff, I told her, I understand you're scared. I understand you're weak. But I want you to know Jesus loves you. And you're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And you can sleep tight. I'm not going to touch your car. Because I don't wish anything bad to you. I'm not in competition with you. I came to law school to become an international lawyer. And I will become an international lawyer. And no one will stand on my way if this is for me. And if this is not for me and I cannot do it, then I will not be an international lawyer. This is in God's hands. This is not in your hands. Who the fuck you think you are to influence my future or my destiny? Just a classmate, just a roommate. You can't stand between me and my destiny. If this is for me, meant to be, I will get it. If not, I will not get it, and nobody can help it. So after I passed all these exams and I was at the top, I remember the students and the teachers literally came up to me and they said, "How did you do it? Like, you were the most stupid one in classroom." Because I didn't speak good English and I asked a ton of stupid questions. Because I like to figure things out. I like to understand why and how things work. That's how my mind is. Like, I'm an investigator. And so I told them, "Do you know how many languages I speak? I speak 4 languages by 28. I said, "Do you know what that means? My mind is 4 times more powerful than yours if you only speak 1 language." So any of you, if you speak more than 1 language, you are twice as smart as the person who speaks only 1 language. It's proven. It's a mind capacity. You know, so people think immigrants they're stupid. No, they're twice as smart. Just not as visible. Okay, so let me see if I completed my thought that I wanted to do, and then we'll get back to you. So on the level 1 evolutionary level, as I mentioned, I'm sorry, I'm coming back to that. We don't have this deep identity. So we live out of the childish concept of being blended with an outside world. So we are never safe and we don't know who we are. And a second level, we at least start discovering. We're starting to learn a little bit and we start to understand, there is an internal piece of me that can influence the world. Like, I'm somebody, I can make some difference in this world. And on level 3 there is a full knowledge that the world is just my mirror. The light reflects light, the darkness reflects darkness. And so that's when I started fully studying psychology to heal my inner dragon, to heal my darkness, my anger, because behind all the anger is fear. And behind every fear is disconnection from the higher self. We've lost the knowledge of who we truly are and why we came onto this world. So that's why the world can play with us and tell us, if you have big lips, you're gonna be sexy. And what does that mean? You'll be more loved. No, you're not gonna be more loved. You're gonna be perceived as an insecure little girl who doesn't have sexual capacity, because your lips get bigger when your inner lips are excited. It's a reflection. So why do you think everybody has this lips down? They want to project to the world, we're sexy. We're sexy, look at me. But a man feels your energy. He feels your feminine sexual energy. So if you're not producing it down there, if you're not a sexual goddess, no lips are going to save you. You're going to only look an insecure little girl asking for attention. Whenever I see on Instagram these girls or the actresses with their lips blown, I feel sorry for them. I still have love and compassion and all of this, and some are more beautiful than the others. But I always know it's like, baby, you need to come to my sexual goddess retreat online and learn and activate your yoni. And when you're strong and sexually confident in there, you are never going to do anything to your beautiful face, because you are enough for one person in this world. You don't need to be enough for everyone. And so if everybody looks the same, like if everybody looks like Angelina Jolie, like I personally I mean, think she's beautiful and all that, but she's not my type. She's not my type. I don't want to look like her. I like Yana. I like Yana 10 years ago more than the Yana now, because she was looking younger and skinnier and more perky, and her lips were bigger and all of that. But at that time, I didn't feel good enough. And now I feel loved and loving and powerful and enough. And whenever I feel a wave of insecurity, I delight myself in that. I'm like, maybe I'm not good enough. And then I'll look at my husband, I'm like, am I good enough for you? And he goes, you're fantastic. You're the best thing in the world. I'm like, yes, thank you for reminding me who I am. And I've accepted it. That it's part of my duality to doubt sometimes. Because I live in the matrix, which tells you if you're old, you're not enough. So I haven't yet embraced the maturity. It's a process for me. So I'm gentle with that and kind with that and honest with that. And so when we're honest and vulnerable, we're not afraid. If we're not afraid, we're free. There's no other way you can become free. You have to go through the fear. You have to admit it. You have to find out how your victim archetype is built, the architecture of it. Heal it and set yourself free. There's no other way. I haven't discovered. There's a way of pretending it, but that always falls apart. That's why we have the corridors, the eclipses, the moon and the stars and so forth. They will put so much external pressure on you, they're going to fall apart. You're going to be crying and feeling like a loser and not enough, no matter if you just were on stage pretending the ahaha and oh la la. And all of you have lived through that. I know it. I know it. Right? So the level 3 is when we come to the realization that the only way I can change the external world is if I change myself. If I change my attitude. If I become kinder, the world will be kinder. If I am angry, the world is angry. If I am generous, the world is generous. That's the only way it works. Is this realization that the external world is not your boss. It's not your daddy. It's just your mirror. That's all.